Today we're here to talk about three things. 1, pay it forward. 2, a street team. And 3, more about my debut novel. So we're going to start today then with more about my debut novel, which is Seth Bronx and the Coat Hand Killer. I'm still waiting for a release date, although by the time you get this video, hopefully I already have the release date, and that'll be great news. And we're going to start with drafts. So everybody knows the first draft is probably the worst draft, the hardest draft, the most annoying draft. But once you're through that, I'd say that is probably, well, in my opinion, that was the hardest part, because when you don't plan on being a writer, you don't grow up learning how to write. Drafting an entire novel from something that was just a short story of 2 pages 20 years ago is quite a challenge. So the first draft is full of plot holes, full of grammatical errors, full of mistakes. And then when I first sent my novel out just to a couple of people who I'm friends with to read the book, I got some awesome feedback. And we're going to feedback more in a bit when we talk about beta readers, but I had some awesome feedback with them. Oh, the spelling's atrocious. Oh, the grammar's here. Oh, you put this word in 2 or 3 times in a row. I mean, I think I sent it to someone who spotted out that I put the word you 3 times. It was like, you are. And I'm just like, how did I manage to do that? Like, twice is you know, but 3 times, the word 3 times in a row, and didn't spot that. Yeah, so the first draft was a pain, and then obviously the second, third, fourth, fifth draft. I think my novel in total had about 8 drafts. Not the whole book. Some of the book only had 2 or 3 drafts. Some of the bits I added towards the end as extra little storylines, or to make the novel more interesting. I felt, give it more depth. They only had 2 or 3 drafts because I knew what I wanted to add, because the story was done. I knew what I wanted to tweak. But the draft of the whole novel, I think, took 8 different turns, at least 7 or 8 turns. So it was a long process. I say it took me 2 years, just over 2.5 years to complete. But once it was done, I knew that every single draft was necessary. There wasn't a point where I thought, I could have probably just done this in 4 or 5 drafts. Like, all drafts were necessary, because you then had to get feedback, then had to go through it. So yeah, 8 drafts it took me to do this book, which hopefully I want to do books in future will take me less, but who knows. So obviously, if we get from draft 1 to draft 8 and to get the completed book, there's a process called editing. I know some people who absolutely love editing. And then there's others who absolutely hate it. Me, I enjoyed it. It was really fun. The first couple drafts in between, I would just edit it with the computer, laptop. I'd just go through it, and I would just do a few edits, go through the whole book, change it, etc. When I got towards the end, when I thought the book was nearly done and it wasn't going to take much more tweaking, sort of like the last few drafts, I would actually print the whole book out on paper with highlighters and sticky notes, and I would go through it and I would highlight in different colours. If it was either a plot line or just a mistake I'd made, I'd highlight it in one colour, and I'd make notes on a sticky pad, and I'd stick that onto the thing, so I knew exactly what I wanted to change, why I wanted to change it. And if it was just something grammatical, there was an issue with spelling, or I'd put in a word 2 or 3 times in a row because I'm clever, then I would just highlight in a different colour, and again I just write it on there. And obviously it would be, sometimes it'd be quite obvious, it'd just be like, remove extra words, or sometimes it would be like, oh, you know, this is the word, I've spelt it, and this is how it's meant to be spelled, or, you know. So that was quite easy for me. I liked editing, I really enjoyed it. So in between the drafts then, I think it was after the second, third draft I'd done, I sent out to beta readers. So yeah, beta readers was a really, really important part. As anyone who has published a book before will tell you, beta readers are really important, not just to get people to read the story through, but to get feedback. And my first novel, I'm very proud. I didn't want to admit that I'd made this mistake and that mistake and this mistake and that mistake. However, when you beta read, it is important to be honest with the person whose story you're reading, so they know where they've messed up, or they know where they can improve. And there was a couple of suggestions I got through feedback that I completely ignored, not because I thought it was stupid or because I didn't value that opinion, because it's always good to value the opinion of the people who have read your book and have given you feedback on it, because it really does help you grow as a writer, and it helps your story grow as well, which is brilliant, which is what you're there to do at the end of the day. That's why you're asking for help from beta readers. But there was a lot of things that I actually got from people that I changed, and sometimes it was just little things. There wasn't a lot of massive plot change or anything like that to the story, but there was quite a few little things that I did change. Going through the book, there was a couple of bits that I was considering changing. I wanted to get feedback, see if anyone point them out and noticed them. Someone did point out one of the things I was hoping for, but they actually liked it. No one else really said much about it, but the one person that said that said, I really like that. I think it gives it more character, it makes it more real. So I kept it. There were suggestions for things like, you know, appearance and location and the names of characters, names of the towns where it's set. And some I took on board and some I didn't, because I had a clear vision in my head of this, and this. I work around this. So some of that I wasn't prepared to change, because I thought, no offense to anyone that gave me feedback on them, that I knew what I was doing. This was the story, this is how it was going to play out. So I changed. Very, very, very rarely did I change anything about the characters and the location. There was one or two little bits. But as opposed to the story and actually getting into it, like conversation and voice and character and stuff like that, I actually did take on board what people had said, and I applied my unique style to what they'd said. So although they'd given me the feedback, they hadn't necessarily given me what I thought was the correct way to do it. So yes, I agree with what they're saying. Actually, now I've read it back, but I actually think I can do it better what they're doing, because I understand the story more than them. So the feedback I got was really good, and it really helped me. And I think that if you're using beta readers, which you should use, especially if it's a debut novel, take on board what they're saying. You haven't got to implement all their ideas, but an idea that they may have may actually trigger an idea that then you could use to make the story even better. So they have done their job. They have helped you improve your novel. I'm actually going to start bringing you some of the characters soon, or some of the quotes from the book. I'm just waiting on answers from the publishers as to what they will and won't allow me to say on this subject, just because obviously when they start doing their big reveals and things, they want it to be, you know, oh yeah, they don't want people to be like, oh, I would know that, like, you know. So got to obviously work with them as opposed to working against them. So yeah, once I get answers on what I can and cannot share with you, I will be start sharing that soon. Hopefully that'll be end of February, beginning of March, so look out for that. If you've obviously subscribed, brilliant. If you haven't, please give my channel a subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, ring the bell as well, so that you do get notified, so when them videos do come out in the future, you can know all about the characters, or something about the characters. You know, you'll get some little spoilers and some quotes and stuff from the book. Hopefully that'll give you more of an understanding of how the book's going to go, and you can be like, oh brilliant, Seth Bronx is amazing, oh yeah, we want to find out about the coat hanger killer. So one of the other things I want to go over then quickly is a street team. Street team, a short version, I'm not going to go into too much detail here. Some of you may know what it is and some of you may not. But a street team is basically a group of individuals who work together as a team. Funny that in the name. And I don't know where the name originated from. I would suppose a street team would be out on the street, effectively teaming up, street team, and they would promote your book. So obviously in the modern world, oh look, in the modern world, some artwork on the wall there. So yeah, the modern street team would obviously do more social media, but if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic and there wasn't, you know, coronavirus everywhere and we're all locked down, then potentially there would still be some street team on the street as well. So I will be looking for a street team going forward. I have spoke to 1 or 2 people about it as well, and I've got a couple of people on board already, but obviously 2 or 3 people is not going to help me promote my book. So if you are interested in being a street team, or you want to look it up online, there are obviously prizes and stuff for the people who contribute the most, in the sense of getting me more pre-sales or more subscribers, you know. So if you are interested in getting free stuff, books, t-shirts, merchandise, I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be merchandise of some kind, potentially a free book. I mean, you'll probably get, if you're on a street team, have to read the story anyway so you can understand it and you can, you know, can promote it properly. So you'll probably get an e-book version of the book for free. But obviously if, you know, you are the best and you promote the book better and you get more people interested in it, fantastic, brilliant, that's what I want. I want that healthy competition. So obviously there will be prizes up for grabs as we go along. So the last thing I want to talk about today then is going to be a new segment which is going to be on every video, and it's called We're All in This Together. We're all in this together. Once we know who we are stars and we see it. Not sung that song in a long time. I think those are the right lyrics. But yes, we're all in this together, and I am basically going to be doing a pay it forward system where I promote small businesses, and that's just my way of basically trying to pay it forward, help other people out. We are all in this together. Like, that is no joke. That is not just a song and a catchy phrase. The last year that we've been going through, or nearly a year that we've all gone through, we've lost people, we've not been able to see people. It's been a struggle. And yes, I had a really good 2020, and I've had a great start to 2021 personally with everything that's going on in my life. But that doesn't mean that my family haven't struggled. I haven't got friends that don't struggle, and I haven't struggled personally a little bit as well, even through like the success that I feel that I'm having and I'm hopefully going to have. Like it's still been hard, because watching my loved ones go through that and even not being able to see them and help them and stuff, it is, you know, kind of a kick in the teeth sometimes. So, you know, I just want to do this little scheme to hopefully help if I can. Let's kick this coronavirus up the backside. It'll probably start in a couple of weeks' time, because the next two videos I think are the Prison of Azkaban and the Goblet of Fire book reviews, so I'll probably start it after that. So hopefully coming in February, you guys will see the first segment of the We're All in This Together Pay It Forward scheme. And if you guys have got any businesses you'd like me to promote, I'm not doing big companies, obviously, just small businesses. So if you've got a small business you're starting up, or you've been struggling through the pandemic, whatever it is, just message me on my social media. My Instagram and Twitter are linked on the channel. Happy to promote you guys and just give you a help and hand if I can. So that's it really today, guys. It's just a mixed bag. I just wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, drafting and editing, and make sure you guys do use your beta readers, etc. The street team, we'll be talking more about that in the future as we get into it. And of course, not to forget the Pay It Forward. We're all in this together. I'm not going to sing it again. I'm already wearing a Spider-Man bleeding dressing gown. And yeah, so let's do this together, guys. 2021. I'm going to say 2021 is the year of John Ski, but it's also the year of you guys. Each and every one of you, male, female, dog, cat, whoever, this can be your year as well. And I know it's going to be tough, but I believe in you guys. Hopefully you believe in me, and we'll get through this together. So let's go. Let's make 2021 awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.